Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you are all well. We are live with the Global Entrepreneurship Week that's been celebrated all across the globe. And we are here today just for friends discussing and talking about our stories of resilience, of how females, especially South Asian females, who are finding it a challenge to find a niche for themselves. What is it that they can pick up as a hobby, as a goal, as an aspiration from life to just be more financially empowered. My name is Nooralain, and I do a couple of things, but we'll leave that for later. But we are here today joined by these fantastic women that I've known over the last couple of months and then some last couple of days as well. But we're just here to be a sounding board for each other, to be a source of inspiration, to be a source of um, telling each other that not all days are good days. There are some bad ones also, but then overcoming from those bad days is what should be our aim. Our focus for today's session, because we're following the theme, is entrepreneurship. So we'll be speaking about how we have found comfort in our entrepreneurial ventures, whether we have had any failed attempts, whether we have had any successful attempts, and that is how the conversation will flow. So let me first introduce you to these amazing women, and they're going to share their stories as well. So I have my friend, my colleague, somebody that I'm on the phone with a lot, and I get a lot of nudges from my husband also that you're talking to her all the time, much more than you talk to me. That's Shazia Hussain. Hi, Shazia.
Hi Noor, how are you? Hi Seher, hi Naz, lovely to see
Hi. Hi.
Good, good. So each one of them will be speaking more about themselves, but let me go ahead and somebody that I also bother a lot, and she, always comes back with, okay, we'll get it done. So Sahar Naqvi, she has a get it done approach. Hi, Sahar.
Hello.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for the
being here.
opportunity. Thank
Thank
you.
you for being here. And somebody that I was telling you that we've known, I have known just a couple of days ago, is Naz Ayaz, who's joining us also. And she'll tell us about all the fabulous things that she is doing as a scientist in the sustainability world. So, hi, Naz. Good to see you.
Hi. Nice to be here and nice to meet you all.
Wonderful. So, I do hope that the stream's going live. We were just a little bit
it
delayed on
is.
that.
I've
Y-
checked. So
Wonderful. Excellent. All righty. So Shadia, let's go ahead. Let everybody who's joining us know about your entrepreneurial journey and where did that why go solo started off for you.
people like to know the personal lives of us as well, don't they? So anyway, we'll start off with the entrepreneurial. I think I've had this entrepreneurial streak when I was born, I think, because anything I did, I always had things happening in parallel. I never did one thing. You kind of conform to do one thing. You go to school, college, study, and then you either go into the employment zone or you go into business. And I found that I was even when I started out in the sort of education zone as a grassroots teacher, I still had something happening on side and it was parallel too. I always felt that I needed more challenge. It was an intrinsic motivation. So um, I started out pretty early. I would say 2009 ish was probably where it started forming around the consultancy and education around 2007, but 2009 when I started taking it seriously. I knew I had to be a head teacher first because that was a goal from my previous life. At the same time, I knew I needed to kick off on my own. And shall I reveal a day? Today is the 20th of November. And 20th of November 2020, I completely stopped anything and everything I was doing in my employment zone, if you like, and made that massive shift to take control of what I do through my own work, whether it was consulting, entity building, product selling, whatever it may be. And here we are, 4 years on, and people can see, having made that plunge, I'd say, lots of products have arisen from that. A lot of evidence, I would say Naz has watched my journey. If I can vouch on that she has. And it's been, I think, there is no secret sauce or formula. However, Key phrases or of inspiration are: you've got to keep believing in yourself, you've got to keep resilient and keep on doing. When you fall, you've got to keep on getting back up. You will get a lot of, I would say, throwback from people that are close to you, and you then question yourself, but you've got to let that noise go and keep an eye on the prize. One, two, three, where's the prize? Keep an eye on that, and you will surely get there. So that's my tip. Anybody who is venturing out, reach out to people who have done it. The credibility lies in those who have built something and have something to show. Lots of business coaches are out there. I myself have invested in many. I'm not going to say all of them have been helpful, but you either learn and earn, or you then grow through your experiences. So currently, I'm just privileged to say I run multiple entities, and I'd say successfully, and I do so from the well, it started from the kitchen table, and it continues to grow there. So Oxfordian College, you've got my Eduvate, you've got First Class Learning, and there's Vaspa Global. I don't know if my business partners have joined. And I think the other very, very important factor is you can't do things alone. You do need to have collaborators. So we have QBN as well, which I work very passionately about, and then Q Mind. So it's all doable. And I'm going to let everybody remain curious now as to ask questions. So I hope that answers your question, Noor.
You missed one more. I think you also run another organization, Tycoon, and that's also
Yeah, I
something
do.
that,
Yeah, I do work
yeah.
with that as well. But I usually like the collaborator there to be the lead person. I'm more his engine, if you like, propelling him forward. Yes. So in Pakistan, in India, in UK, in Dubai, in US, I think I'm everywhere globally. So that's me.
Wonderful. And I really like what you picked up that, what you have to do, you have to do, right? So, Sahar, tell us a little bit about yourself. Managing a career. I know you are a young mom, two young children. How do you do it?
Well, at the beginning, it was quite difficult, and like my educational background and my practices all belong to media, advertisement, marketing. That demands a lot of screen time, demands a lot of meetings, meeting people, and because I have my own venture, I'm running a digital media marketing company and assisting organizations, brand individuals to establish their brand identity and presence. So of course I have to meet different people. So taking time out of my busy schedule with my children and giving them my 100% because like they're quite young. One is like 11 months now and the other one is 4 years old. And this is the age bracket when they really need me around them all the time. So luckily, I over the period of time, it's been like 5 years. I've started my own company, and my team is very supportive. And the good thing is that I've got most of women in my team, and I believe that if you are determined to achieve something in your life, and you're a woman, I mean, on top of that, no, I'm not letting any man down here, but it's more determination comes your way if you're a woman and you're a mom too, right? Because there are so many things going in common that if you're not a successful mom today, what are you going to teach your children to be in future? Like there's a simple question, like when your children are growing and they ask them like what does your mom do, and they have no answer to that. Oh well, my mom, well, she stays at home, so that kind of question I always thought, okay, that I want to make sure that they have something to tell. And also because it's my own organization, so I want my children to join me in this journey because the future is all about the digital era. And is something like setting some foundation for them and also for myself. So that was very, very important step for me. But taking time out for my children and my work, it was challenging. It is challenging because to date she's just 11 months and is just 4 years old. Just started school, and I'm just facing these challenges every day. But I would call them opportunities, I believe. I mean, where you can shape yourself more and more. You can make yourself better every day, And I think that kind of challenges you start enjoying when you don't think them as challenge. And I learn a lot from Shazia. I mean, usually because she's one of my clients as well, so I usually speak to her. I speak to you, Noor. So when you have Wonder Women around you, they help you focus more on the things that you are missing. Like she said, certain words and certain statements within her introduction that actually helped me focus more today for my work. I mean, you learn from people around you. So yeah, this is who I am.
Wonderful, Sahar. Thank you so much. And now moving on, somebody who's gone the full circle with grown-up kids now, and you've been working in a fantastic field, which is generally we'd say that not for women. So just tell us about yourself and where you're at as part of your journey.
Yep. So I started my corporate job back in 2005. I was quite ambitious as a character. Science always inspires me because you can learn so many fantastic things. So being in the sort of industry that actually serves the community from sort of like sourcing the clean air for everyone because we need to look at a more sustainable future which doesn't depreciate the natural resources and looks at protection of future generation. And it's been in the corporate industry. It's quite a hectic job being a process scientist. I have a team of people who are support, and we are responsible primarily supporting the transfer of new formulation to manufacturing sites globally, which is quite rewarding because you can see the end picture that you're adding to a cleaner and better environment for everyone. I have small family, 3 kids, and they're all grown up, and they now started university, 2 of them, which is really fantastic to see. But it's finding the right balance, especially when you are in a job for a very long time and your career ambitious as well. You've got to have a bit more diverse approach because you can't put all your eggs in one basket, as a lot of you guys already said. So you got to also make your money work for yourself. So I have tried various different things alongside my career to make my money work better for myself. So I have attempted to trade forex and I miserably failed. I think Shazia kind of know my journey about that as well. So hence why I invested in property back in 2010 with my husband, and alhamdulillah, that's been really successful. So we continue to explore more and more about how to make the money work for yourself better, but also inspire your family, whether it's a young family or a wider family, or your friends, in terms of what we do, how we adding a value to the community and the people around us, being in the job that actually allowed me to do that. Sustainable future, green energy. It's fantastic. So that's me.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I'm so glad, Naz, that you also spoke about, the successes and the failures as well. So over to me, I'll also tell you a little bit about myself. Not yet gone the full circle as yet, because every couple of months I just decide to, pack up my bags and do something, whether it's moving cities initially, and then moving countries as well, and just realizing very early on that you have to be financially empowered and there should be multiple streams of revenue coming in. So just like Shazia, I've also been the somebody who was very geared towards jobs circle, and then I just decided to quit one day, and had a plan, and it's like a very brave thing to do, I think. I really like that meme where it says, what is a journey like for a man, which is like a straight path, and the journey for a woman is like, it's going round round in circles, and then you're finding that straight path. So having said that, and what Sahar also said, that it's not really about men versus women, but with our professional clock and our biological clock managing different roles. So You have to get married, you have to be a mom, your career is taking off, you are also trying to, climb up the rungs as well, whatever you're doing. So it's been a journey. And I think the good thing about what my journey has been like. Just like you, Nas, I have started up companies, shut them down as well, maybe paused a couple and just put them on the back burner that I'll come back to them later. But so far, it has always been about evolving and just innovating and just looking at ways in which I could look at ways where my money is working for me, Nas, but it's also generating some kind of passive income for me as well. Um, that, and plus also not just resorting to single stream of income. With COVID, that was the biggest hit, and I like to share um, a failure that I had. So I run an enterprise training company in Pakistan. And a couple of years ago, right before COVID hit, I was packed for the next 2 years. Contract signed, everything signed, and I was like on cloud nine that this is going to be the best year, and I'll be the next, let's say, the unicorn, etc. Right, making lots of money. And then COVID happened, and all of those contracts for a face-to-face training model, they just came crumbling down. And I had to, like Shazia was saying, go around to relearn things, but firstly to unlearn whatever I had learned the past couple of years and redesign the business model. But that's essentially what any entrepreneur has to do, right? So Shazia, I'm going to pose you this particular question that, you
Sure.
know, I know that a lot of us, and even amongst the four of us, we would always come up with a plan, and then we'll start to say, all right, what is that one particular thread that I need to grasp? What is it, something that will get me to execute it without the fear of it falling? So what are some of the strategies that you use? Because I know you do this day in, day out. Some things work out, 10 things don't work out, right? But where do you find, and what is your strategy personally to just go ahead with that plan?
For me, I think it's you've got to take a calculated risk. So you've got to put in a bit of a mitigation plan as to, okay, what's my best case scenario, and then what's my worst case scenario. And then you look at the worst case scenario and you think, well, actually, that's not too bad, because in any business or enterprise, there is going to be a risk. Even if you go into any sort of business, whether you put in millions or thousands or even hundreds, there's high investment businesses and low investment businesses, and I feel that you do have to do that. So firstly, it's having that mitigation plan of high best case scenario and worst case, and can, a bit like any investment, not just business, it's just an investment mindset. You do have to have that attitude of what can I lose without impacting the rest of my life and things. And then if you look at the best case at the same time, I think is really important, and I think particularly neglected, is the fact that you do need to collaborate. You do need to have like-minded. You know how they say your vibe attracts your tribe. You cannot do it alone. And I think the sooner you understand that, the sooner you will move forward, because a lot of people like to have that, I can do it, it's my company, and that attitude. And I think you've got to eliminate that, because we all have a certain set of skills that we can work with, and we need to build a team. Simon Sinek says, if you're the most intelligent person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? So you need, and that's something a lot of people, that's just one example. If you look at lots of successful entrepreneurs, they will have a circle of influence, or their inner circle. And then they also, the saying goes, look at the 5 individuals you associate yourself with, and look at the income that they generate. And, if they are in an increased, and if the amount that they earn is more, you'll be the next. But if there's the opposite, so again, it is looking at successful people and learning from them. And the third point is ongoing learning. Never stop investing in yourself. It's not a cost. Anything you do, whether it's a course, training, a travel, meeting, it's an investment. So you've got to have the vision. If you've got the vision, you've got the mindset, and you put in a few strategic steps, you will be successful. If your mind can conceive it, you can achieve it. You've got to give it time, let it brew, and that if you think it's going to work, it's going to work. If you think it's not going to work, it's not going to work. You treat it like a hobby, it will pay you like a hobby. You treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. So there is no magic success formula, but there are some key cogs that you need to work with and keep going. Never stop, and see you at the top.
Yeah, wonderful. And I think the proof of the pudding, Shazi, in most of the cases that I've seen that when very small business ideas have gone big is that they've gone ahead and executed it. And that is also where in the services sector specifically is where you can do it more comfortably. Maybe in the product sector you have to be, a lot more careful as well, where there are a lot of investment involved. But then going ahead and just looking at ways in which I'll put up the next question to Sahar as well, that Sahar, delegation, right? You lead a team and you do it cross borders, right? And how is it that you have gotten yourself geared around? Because I get this from a lot of women, that this business idea is my baby, and I'm not going to share my secrets with anyone, and it just has to be me, and I'll just do everything. And then sometimes a point comes where you're unable to expand or scale as much as you want to, because you're not sharing it with the team. So how do you do it cross borders, and how do you manage to trust the team to take the right decision? And then when you have to come in with your leadership hat on, what do you do, and what are some of the things that you can share with people?
Okay, so most importantly, first, I trust my team. So why I trust my team? Because I build my team. And if I have built it right, it's my building, right? So I cannot doubt it. I can't doubt my foundation that I set for them. I can't doubt my, sharing ideas or any knowledge that I have. I share it with my team as well as my clients, because every day I'm learning new secrets and I'm giving away the old ones, you know. And when you spoke about, sharpening your saw every day, learn new things. Learn in my field, it's IT. It's AI. Every day there's a new software, there's a new feature that Facebook, Instagram, any other app that is in place now is introducing different features in websites. So I need to keep learning things. And I always give away my secrets to my clients. Even yesterday, I was speaking to a client, and I told him there is a certain task that he was wondering that how am I doing it? And I said, listen, this tool, you can do it yourself. But if you want me to help you, I'll do it for you. So I always keep things open with my clients and my team. So I don't put my team in trouble and my clients in trouble. So I could maybe, lie to my clients that my team is, based in, this country or this country. I always tell them my base is Pakistan, my team is based in Pakistan. Few of my team members are based in Dubai, and they moved from Pakistan to Dubai. Before that, they were working with me in Pakistan. So the honesty with clients and honesty with the team helps my organization stay clean. And another good thing is that all the business that I have at the moment is through word of mouth. I still don't think I would be marketing in next 1 year, maybe, because the clientage I have got, they are loyal to me. Why? Because I am loyal to them. And for me, I always connect my team with them. And I connect with them, because I want them to learn. It's not only staying at the back end of the computers and then, of course, doing things as a system that actually works, and that's it. I don't want them to be computers only. I want them to learn to communicate. And that is something that I have been developing in my team. So I let them handle client communication, but that does not mean I'm not watching. So I'm always at the back end, and I'm always watching what's going on. And there are multiple groups they're dealing in, but in each group, if the response time is more than 10 minutes, my message is right away to the team. It's been 10 minutes, there's no response in the group. Where have you been? Well, what are you doing? And then, of course, there must be some explanation. I was in the meeting or some. Okay, fine, do it right now. So they know that they're being watched, and they know that I trust them. So this thing actually helps me. And sometimes I feel like, oh, this task I know and I can't delegate. I don't know how to teach them. I don't know how they're going to take it forward, but I would still give it a try as a trial. So
Yeah.
I think trust.
Yeah.
It's
No.
go both ways, client and the team, both. It's very
Oh,
important.
wonderful, Sahar. And since you're on the other end of it, I hope me and Shazia are not the ones who give you the 10 minutes. Where is my work in 10 minutes smile?
No, no,
Just
no,
for
no,
the type
no, 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 not at
but
all.
but 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 no, I completely hear you. I think just delegating, specifically when you're running an enterprise. I know I am managing a team remotely as well. They'd be working at midnight their time, and then sending me stuff, and then when it's their morning, and then they're waking me up at 5 a.m. in the in the morning as well. So we work around that, and it's just that the churn time is where we are saying that the ways of working have also really changed. That is something which is the beauty of it, right? And it helps us in juggling different roles as well, and different, I think, portfolios as well. Nas, let me come around to you. I know that you were also plugged out from one country, and then you made a career for yourself in another. Favorite question of a lot of women who are perhaps new starters. We're in the UK, so everybody would be asking, there are no job opportunities. Oh my God, whatever I had studied back at home, I had a luxurious career, let's say 15, 20 years. There's still no jobs. I don't want to work a blue collar job. What should I do? You have seen that, and you have developed like not only a career, but like you have excelled in your career as well. So what advice would you give to somebody who's just new to the country and just trying to like explore options and opportunities? Where should they hook on to that first thread?
Yeah, very good question. I think you need to know obviously what your vision is, where you want to go, what field, what industry that attracts you. And if you're already skilled, you need to approach them. You need to go and add value without even having any sort of perception of getting paid for things. Because when you start to connect with people, you've got to make your place, and it's not going to happen overnight. And you may want to obviously reach out to more than one to diversify the risk in terms of where you're adding more value, where you connect with people, and through your network, you actually manage to find a lot of opportunities to find something that actually fits better in your lifestyle, and your vision. And that's in terms of starting phase. But never be afraid to fail, because if you don't try, you don't grow. And this is important thing to remember as well. So if one door closes, it's not the end of the road. You have to go and knock on another door and another door until you find the right one. So it's about not giving up, and yes, keep going.
Yeah, I just love that, and I think what Shazia is also going to agree on this is that people are afraid to even volunteer and like build up a network. And I know that Shazia always says that no, your network is your net worth, right, Shazia? But
Yep.
we've seen throughout, and I know you're a British Pakistani, you're born and bred here, but you also had the same challenges, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And I think with what Seher has said about delegation and trust, it's getting the balance right. You do, my leadership style has always been, there's a difference between being a leader and being a manager. A manager gives jobs, a leader inspires. Once you're in the inspirational role and you notice things, and this is what I picked up when I was a head teacher, when I used to walk the school and somebody was not where they were meant to be, I did not need to use words. My physical presence and my eye contact was sufficient for them to recognize that they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing. And being wordless is sometimes more powerful, because they will come back and apologize. And next time, they will actually value your leadership for not making them feel embarrassed and trusting them, so that then they want to actually, they're at the forefront of your trust. And they think, well, I can't make that happen again because I was trusted, valued, whether it's in the school, setting meetings. But at the same time, there's the accountability. You do need to have metrics. You have goals and targets, because as it says, you can have unless you don't write it down, it's a dream. So a dream remains a dream. Actions take forward once you've plugged it on paper, and it becomes a goal, and you've got to put a timeline to it. And that's the same strategy that goes into business. And as Noor said about the doors, you can't rely on one income stream. You've got to keep knocking on doors. You've got to know how much time to give that room, if you like, when you've opened the door, and that when you recognize actually what impact is happening, or what impact on me is actually positive and moving forward, because you can't just sit in a stagnant room either. So you've got to have the ability to make that judgment, that call, when to stop, when to change, when to shift. Or the buzzword is pivot in your business, because you can have a plan, and then you've got to evaluate and change direction. And I always said, don't change your goal, change the roadmap if you have to. Just like when I was heading for headship and schools were causing me challenges. I knew what I wanted to get, but I kept changing my direction to get there. Same in business. And all five fingers are not the same. So we do get burnt, and we do experience challenges and losses, and we do feel bitter, but they happen for a reason. Think back when you lost or failed, what avenue opened from it? And had that not happened, maybe that door would not have opened. And that's
Absolutely.
how I see it. And the more positive energy you give out, the more positivity you attract, the more belief you have in what you do, the more people will believe in you. And finally, as you say, your network is your net worth. That goes back to, you attract like-minded people. All of us here today are like-minded because we've connected in some way, and you're there not for yourself. You've got to also be there for the other person. And a lot of people are in it for themselves. The more people you help yourself. And hence, having those multiple income streams, whether it's product based, whether it's educational, service based, or whether it's building passive income, a lot of people don't have the knowledge. And just to summarize at the end, I will just say that if you are going to go and get advice, make sure you get an advice from a person who's qualified to give you advice. If I was a medical doctor, I would not go to the plumber and ask, how do I do an open heart surgery? Because a plumber would not be qualified to give me that advice. So why is it that when women, in particular South Asian women, go into business, they have to go and get validation from somebody else? And often, majority of the time, that other person is not qualified. So if somebody comes to work with me, the first thing I tend to do is bring the decision maker with you, because in translation, whatever I share with you today, or whatever opportunity training, whatever it may be, may get to the other decision maker, and it may not actually reach them with the same impact that it's supposed to. And I've learned that to save time. So you are going to invest time in ours. You're not always going to get paid, but it's sowing seeds. And Jim Rohn always says, networking is like sowing seeds. Every person you meet is a seed. You water them, which is you nourish and build a relationship, and some will grow, some will die, and some the birds will take away. But that's okay, because you only need a handful of people, and that's it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Absolutely. No, Shazia, I think beautifully said. And I think in terms of where we see the missing link is that ability to invest also in yourself. Unfortunately, I think one of the things that we are uh, unable to, myth bust specifically for our community group is essentially that, oh my God, I have to do something, and I have like 20 years of experience, and now I have to go back in a classroom setting, and then expected to be expected to do a training, right? And we say, oh, it's costing me also. But what we fail to understand is, specifically with a lot of relocation happening, in a lot of community groups migrating here as well, where we need to understand is that you are bringing yourself into a new competitive market, and you need to continuously upscale your skill set. That should be coming as like an investment in yourself, and that's going to help you along the way. Just to give everybody a personal example, that I come in with a 20 years of training experience, and I'm a trainer, facilitator, moderator, and I've worked with a lot of international donor groups and brands. And I had to come in, and people asked me, "Hey, do you have a training qualification? Are you a coach? Are you a mentor?" And you had to like go back and see, all right, this is what I need to do, and this is the investment that I need to do. So put yourself up onto a course, and see if it works for you, and it will definitely work for you because you are doing it with the intention that you're going to make this money back. Unfortunately, where we lose the, I think the eyes on the horizon should be that you lose your focus in terms of saying, all right, I'm investing £1,000 in this particular qualification. How quickly am I able to make it back? Right. And that essentially is something that we should be speaking about, because nowhere else in the world, or maybe very few other countries in the world, will you get payment plans, will you get self-spaced learning, will you get support where you don't even have to step out of your home, and you could have a career work out for yourself. And year in year, I have friends who would be telling me, tell me something. My wife needs to do something now. The kids are grown up, right? And they have their own lives now, and now they are starting to build up their career. Is it too late? Right. So let's go around the room and let's ask this question. Nas, do you think is it too late for women, or they can always just pick up their socks and say, all right, let's do it?
Very good question. I think it's never too late because at the end of the day, you have to decide for yourself what is that going to make you satisfied in life in terms of your personal achievement, and that can start at any time, and there is no time limit on that one. One thing I do like to add, when I started in studying for chemistry and got a corporate job, I was quite excited. Then very soon I realized that I need to have something on the side. So when we started in property investment, we put a lot of money in, like tens of £1,000 to invest in ourselves, our ability to be able to trade in that space, and we had some failures and successes. So it's always good to ensure that the failure is not going to sort of stop you there, but you always need to inspire yourself that you need to have an end goal. You always need to have an exit strategy, and you always need to have a people around you that empowers you. So never too late. Go and find your niche and yeah, excel in there.
Wonderful. And then females also say, Sahar, and this one is for you. Oh my God, I've had babies, but I do have a support structure, but I don't trust the support structure. So should you be trusting the support structure to get your career on the right track and keep following it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think it's very important to trust your support structure, and to a certain limit. I mean, you can't put your children second and work first. Of course, you have to put your children first, but then again, you need to build a structure that you already trust. Instead, building trust on them, giving your children away, because your children is your mess. This is your, if you don't take care of your children, I mean, there's nothing left in your life. Then the work doesn't matter. Then nothing matters. So, children, of course, first, but you should be able to trust your support structure. Yes, if you want to take some extra measures, you can do that. You can ask for extra reporting from the support structure. And if you are lucky enough to have your own, family members as support structure, then why not? And I've seen certain mothers that they always keep their children too clingy to themselves, you know and that was the point when I realized that I need to trust my support structure. And luckily I had some family members, those actually look after my children, and to that extent that I had to stay in Pakistan for like 15 days, and I left my 2 years old with my support structure. So sometimes we had to, it wasn't easy for me. People think, oh yeah, it's very easy for you. I mean, you can leave your children. And other mothers, I heard this from other mothers when I was in Pakistan, and they said, how can you do this? Oh, you left your child there.
Child
I was
there.
like, you don't know what I'm going through, first of all. Secondly, I left him for a reason, because I know if I will bring him here, the temperature is not suitable for him. He's not gonna stay well here. I'm only here for 2 weeks, and he's gonna have miserable time here because water, temperature, nothing is gonna suit him. He's in different environment at the moment, and if I have people who can actually took a lot of care of him, and also his own father, so I and one more thing that women do, they always stay very clingy to their husbands. Oh, if he's traveling, I will be traveling. If he's sitting there, I will sit next to him. You don't have to do that. You have your own identity, you have your own recognition. Yes, you do value your relationship, your husband, but just don't make him your foundation for introduction. Oh, I'm his wife. Instead, you can say, I'm Seher Naqvi, I do this. And my husband is this, da da da, and he does this. I mean, keep yourself independent to
Yeah.
stay independent and then to move independent in your life. This is important. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I really like that, and I completely echoed what you were saying because I have just the one, and she's 10 years. So now we're at the point where she has actually has 9.5 years of I could say entrepreneurial and a business training just free
Wow.
on the house because she was going with me wherever I was traveling, right? With the support structure and with other things also in place. So that's something that has happened. But Shazia, you do the same, right? And you defy the norms with all that you do, but you still work from home, right? And you have that creative space where you'd be like having that flexibility. So how important do you think that flexibility element is for you to? I know at 3:30 p.m. you're like, all right, the girls are coming back, I have to do this, I have to take them. So there are too many things that you're juggling at the same time. So is that something which is doable, or what people would say, no, 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 this is going to come at a cost of you not having a social life, or you not having to go out or meet your friends, etc.
No, I think what it is that when you know you're building your own legacy and you're not building somebody else's, right? That's the first most fulfilling feeling that you get. Number two, for me, it was freedom of time. When I used to be in school, from classroom to leadership, I used to question why, when I used to take the students out or we had excursions, how on earth are they having a run in the park at this time? What do they do? Because I thrived that lifestyle, and it is about creating it. So freedom of time was always my priority. That I'm happy to work hard. Working hard does not phase me. Working late nights does not phase me. Waking up 3 o'clock in the morning does not phase me. But I am in charge of what I do, when I do, how I do, and I fit it in. So I've been quite fortunate in all the entities that I work with have created. And I know we are on the platform of Oxfordian College, which I'm super proud of, because even this particular entity evolved, and it did start off with me in my favorite black shirt, which I always say is my business shirt. The inspiration, I put it on and things happen, it makes things happen. And it started with me sitting on my own. And it was based on previous experiences. And it's grown to the fact that there's a faculty that either work remotely, work on site. And now we've got international students coming in from January. And that was a vision that I had to stick with. And so I think juggling, you got to keep your eyes on the prize, as I always say. You've got to keep that vision, that what is your outcome going to look like, because otherwise you will struggle with everything. You'll lose your motivation. And it's important to see how close, you're on you can see the iceberg, but people see the success. People don't see the hard work that goes underneath. But because I can choose how and when I do I get things done, man. I get everything done. They say if you give it to a busy person, it gets done. I prioritize what I get done, and it gets done. And I love the fact that I can do it when I want. And your family, or I say, they can see that. They see that you are there, and it's a quality of time. And I'm physically present. I may not always be mentally present, but I'm physically present. I'm not having to pay for other people to do certain things. I don't, and when they need that additional time, your business these days on your phone, everything operates on a phone. So I don't have to be physically present. And I think it's a mindset. I have a couple of people I work with who feel that you physically have to go into an office space and only productivity will happen there. I think productivity is, again, going back to that initial stress. You need a strategy and a plan, and you've got to prioritize and schedule your day. Otherwise, does you run your day, or does your day run you? But it's knowing, what do I need to get done by the end of this day? What do I need to get done by the end of the week? And Seher, yes, my tabs are open. I, like my
1000
brain,
plus.
the things are getting done, right? That's why the tabs are open.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
that is the key takeaway: get things done. And I'm going to give an example. Just being busy doesn't mean you're being productive. And I always give the example of a donkey being busy. Does not mean you're being productive. Just because you're doing something does not mean you're being productive. So you've got to differentiate between keeping busy and actually being productive. People, once they get that, they will understand. You do need to put things down and strategize. It's not about, and I'm going to be a little bit, all the men are going to hate me for this, but all the men I speak to say, my plan is in my head. Yes, get it out of your head and put it somewhere so you can
On a
physically
paper.
start
Yeah.
ticking off what you have done, because you will realize, because it goes into your head and then sometimes get lost in your head and you forget things. So different people will work in different ways, but yeah, enjoy your time freedom, I would say.
Absolutely, and I think what is also really important is that because there's also this discussion, and unfortunately, Shazia, let's leave the men aside. Women will also pull women down as well, right? We have been in settings where we'd say, "Oh, Naz, what are you up to? How much are you earning? Just this much?" Okay, no, I am making X amount, which is way more, and that becomes like a definition of success. Uh, we need to also, I think, to some extent, have conversations around the fact that whatever money you are making is better than not making any money, right? And that the learning curve of anybody who is just going up the cycle, and they're climbing the rungs, that is their journey and their pathways. You see a lot of home chefs who are like making cookies and baking them, and I just adore it. I was just recently at a fundraiser for my daughter's school, and we had women who were like they're homemakers, and they had these bakery items, and they're there, and somebody was, and I overheard somebody sheepishly say that, oh, I also sell this to the local community groups as well. And I said that should be a louder conversation, right? In terms of, it does not matter whether you are running a big, huge organization, it's going to get there somehow. Unfortunately, what we also see is that the examples that we are quoting, we're always quoting them about, multi-billion-dollar businesses, and our brain just really stops around there, that, okay, this is the benchmark and this is who we're going to talk about. What about all the small scale people who have just started from scratch, and they've been like Charlotte's Web, that particular story that we always read, they climbed up and fell down, climbed up and fell down. So that's the kind of like stories that we should be speaking about. Success, making money, and that should be, to me, should be a measure of success only and only if you're sitting in a setting where everybody is talking about their struggles and failures as well. We have very less time, so Naz, any final words? Let's talk about, okay, let's talk about 5-year goals. What are your personal 5-year goals? Where do you see yourselves?
So, my 5 year goal looks like, have financially free. I have the freedom to be able to enjoy life, and have the quality time with the family. That means, going back to my original statement about having the money work for you, having the passive income generated through, through healthy and better investment plans. So, get to know people, see what's out there, don't shut yourself off. Inspire other, but also look out for like-minded people through those events to reach out to. Everybody's super accessible, so unless you reach them, ask them question, you'll never know. So don't make assumptions, so just go out there and at least try it.
Wonderful, I love that. Sahar, what about you? 5-year goals? Where do you see
Well,
yourself?
5 years, yes, yes. It's not only like about my organization, because there are multiple organizations linked with me and individuals linked with me. So it's not only about my success in next 5 years. So yes, I want to expand my business as well as the companies and organizations with me. I want to see them progressing as well. So this is my ultimate goal. I mean, and then of course introducing some more offshoots, because again, with the advent of AI, there are multiple things changing, and the organizations are introducing different offshoots. So I will be learning more and introducing some more adventurous features to offer some clients and help them progress with my organization as well.
Wonderful. Love
Yeah.
that. Take everybody along. Shazia,
Yeah.
what about you?
Well, I guess what I already have my hands on is to make them, I would say, put systems and processes in place so they're automated. And then I don't need to sit in the UK anymore, do I? I can then remotely, which I still do. I think
Yeah.
what I planned 5 years ago to happen now is actually happening, but it's automating what I already have created now so that it's not dependent on me putting those processes in place so that it's organically growing and the next bunch of people can also benefit. So for me, I guess it's more freedom of time. I have it now, but again, more maybe more in the air. Traveling, and people, some of you will now say you already travel a lot, but a bit more, So it's it's seeing the world, and the mobile phone is there just in case I need to touch base. So building the college to sustainability, the consultancies there. I can pick and choose when I want to tap into that. And in terms of um, other entities, similarly, I have business partners, so we will collaborate. Investment plans through QBN, I do, and that's growing very well as well. So yeah, I just need sustainability and carrying on. I would say expanding my horizon in terms of freely working from where I want to work. But at the same time, I think now it's more about helping others achieve those goals. I think I've now done the groundwork, have got enough experience to know what works, what doesn't work. And it's not about what I do and how I do it, it's what people or other women or other individuals, because again, the men will shout that she always talks about women, just showing them the pathway. But I think at the same time, the grit has to come from the other individual too. So I still work with a lot of people to support, but I find that's the ones that need too much hand holding can be draining. You've got the radiators and the drainers. I'm more than happy to give, but you've got to give as well. It's got to be an equal the equation has to be balanced. And it's quite draining when you're trying to help, or not help is the wrong words, maybe support, coach effectively, sometimes mentor, and you seem to be doing the heavy lifting. Well, actually, the results are required on the other side, so they need to be doing the heavy lifting. So I guess it's going to be more working on those kind of collaborations now, like we're doing what we're doing now, going live more, attracting more individuals, trying to get them to believe in themselves and take that plunge and just get out of their comfort zone. And the more lives we change, the more success we have. It's not always about the resource, money is a resource. It's more about the impact and the legacy you leave on lives of individuals. The more women that I see become financially free and come out of their comfort zone, or happy even, you've made a difference in their life. And I think, Nazish, you all agree that the byproduct is money. The first step is your confidence. And Seher, you'll agree, and is believing in yourself. And Noor,
True.
it's also aligning with the right mindset of individuals. And
Absolutely.
you click when you know. So, yes.
Yeah. No, wonderful. And I'll echo what you're saying also, Shazia. We're all from different age brackets. I think Sahar is the youngest in the lot here. There we go. If you're just really curious about our ages, I'll just echo what Shazia was saying. Definitely get the college to branch out more and be on its own. So just working on the processes, and then a personal goal is that I want to have two entities. One entity has been running. I just have to repot that seed, water it. I have potted the seed, but I still have to like water it, nurture it a little bit more, and help it in creating a niche. And then one more one more enterprise that I want to run, which is also in the services area, and it should be, on its own. So 5-year goals. That is usually what really works for me. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
We do had some gentlemen also watching, and I shared their feedback. So thank you to the gentlemen also who were watching and supporting this
And
particular.
Nora, we can help out. We are happy to connect. Maybe, there was International Men's Day yesterday.
Yeah, it was
Maybe this will
absolutely.
be a conversation with all the men that would like to just, I don't know, be inspired or motivated in some way.
Absolutely, we can definitely do that. So it's essentially what we wanted to do is that to do a GW activity that is just focused around women for this time around. We're very happy to do it for men as well because there are great stories there that we need to share also. But just specifically to just have the South Asian community, the women also, we kept having these conversations that we need to have more and more women who want to set up something, but just feel free to talk, discuss, execute, try, fail, try again, and you will get that hit. So that was it. This is an official Global Entrepreneurship Week activity, by the way. So you could see, you can't see the badge right now, but you can see it on the socials as well. And then when we reshare the recording up on the socials, you'll be able to see that as well. But thank you so much, Naz, Sahar, and Shazia, for just taking the initiative and just saying, count us in and we'll be there. Thank you for your time. And thank you to everybody who joined us live and who would be watching this particular webinar later as well. Thank you, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ladies.